Yeah, it's essentially unchanged, 15% living in poverty. Keep in mind there's another 34, 35% living near poverty. And then, of course, the gap between the rich and poor, the language top and bottom still operating. Middle class squeezed. We once had a social structure that looked like a diamond. It's more and more looking like a pyramid, with masses being pushed to the bottom. Middle class is pushed to the bottom.
The lower class is growing and becoming bigger. As a result of this, more people are suffering from poverty and unemployment, and some even become homeless and are forced to sleep on the streets.
Ruji, if we could start with you. I want to start with this chart that your center, Mercatus Center, put out in the increase in food stamp enrollment. In the last 5-10 years, what's happened?
So there's been a large increase in food stamps enrollment in the last 10 years. There was kind of two phases, 2001 to 2006. There was a doubling of the spending in food stamps. And then since 2007, almost double the enrollment. A lot of this, especially in the last 4 years, we could assume it's economic issues, but it's mostly actually increasing eligibility, because as unemployment rate goes down, food stamps enrollments keep going up. And more importantly, there was a CBO report that actually looked specifically at those last 5 years and found that 25%, as of today, 25% of the increase in enrollment is due to economic issues.
This clip is a reenactment of someone using food stamps to purchase food. Food stamps are in high demand and many people are resorting to them as a result of the growing poverty in the U.S. The food stamps are coupons to help buy food for people who have trouble affording it. Instead of using money, people trade in these coupons for food. To get food stamps, you need to apply, and if you qualify, you use these food stamps for your family and buy essential food that you need. I think food stamps are very good and should be used all over the U.S. and in place for people who cannot afford to buy food.
Another problem among people who are involved in poverty is the fact that they can get addicted to drugs and use what little money and resources they have left to purchase these illegal narcotics. Addiction is very serious, and we need to have better programs in the United States to help put it to an end so these people's suffering is stopped and they have a better life and stay clean. If we have your help, we can do this successfully and get more people off of the streets.
And one of the things that we have a little note in here about, but we don't report on homeless veteran numbers this time around, at least in part because in the past the VA had a system of counting or estimating the size of the homeless veteran population. They've recently teamed up with HUD to come up with a new methodology and they're releasing that as an addendum to HUD's AHAR report. And so as that becomes sort of a regularly sort of issued item, and as the methodologies of that become clear, we'll be able to report on, that.
Programs need to be put in place for the men and women who now live on the streets after having served in the military. These people are sometimes put on the streets because of the fact they have post-traumatic stress from the time they served for our country.
After explaining what we believe are the main subjects of poverty, we can see that there are many solutions to ending poverty in the year of 2013.
It is really important that we help all of these people who suffer in poverty. They need our help, and we need to find a solution that isn't just taking money from the rich and taxing them more to pay for the less fortunate. In 2013, we really need to help put a dent in the amount of people who are considered to be living in poverty in the United States. We are worried if this problem isn't addressed soon, that it could become even bigger and affect even more people in America. As we said early on in the video, the lower class is growing, and we need to put an end to the large amount of people that suffer in poverty.